There is a gas tax stimulus check, everybody, and it's worth around $400. So here's the big news. A group of Democratic lawmakers are proposing a plan to send a $400 gas tax rebate to every California taxpayer to help defray the increased cost of gasoline. The plan would tap the state's $9 billion budget surplus to fund the rebate. It would cost an estimated $567 million. Several members of the Democratic caucus of the state have said that the $400 rebate was calculated based on what the average Californian would save if a gas tax holiday were implemented. Currently, drivers pay 51 cents per gallon in tax. Now, state officials have told reporters that's $400 for the average Californian for the average vehicle. So everybody under this proposal, the rebate would go to every single California taxpayer, including those who don't drive a car, because everybody has seen an increase in living expenses. The lawmakers say a rebate is a better approach than suspending the gas tax, a plan favored by Republican lawmakers, noting that suspending the gas tax would severely impact funding for transportation projects and offer no guarantee that oil companies would pass on the savings to consumers. In an official statement, the lawmakers wrote, "This is a proposal that we have crafted specifically to help consumers, to help California families, because we want to make sure that we're putting money in the pockets of working families, not in the hands of oil companies. And we know that some of those proposals are just out there. There's no guarantee that will pass along to consumers." Last week, Newsom promised a gas tax rebate in his State of the State address, and also proposed to pause a gas tax increase. Republican Assembly Leader James Gallagher vowed to keep on pushing for a gas tax holiday, but issued a statement supporting the $400 rebate. Mitt Romney also wants to reinstate monthly payments of up to $1,250 to households with children. Romney introduced the Family Security Act, which is like the child tax credit. It would send payments of up to $350 per month to families with children up to 5 years old, and $250 per month to families with children 6 to 17. Romney told reporters that the plan would definitely immediately lift nearly 3 million children out of poverty. For most Americans, everybody, inflation is running far ahead of the pay raises that many have received in the past year, making it harder for them to afford necessities. So, it makes sense for President Biden to send out more stimulus checks. If you guys agree, tell me in the comments.
Get to conference, and the Commerce Committee today had a markup on bipartisan legislation to reform unfair shipping practices that are clogging up ports and slowing down our supply chain. Today, Chairman Brown had a hearing in the Banking Committee on strengthening supply chains. And 3 other committees held hearings on lowering costs, either held them today or will this week. The Senate Help Committee had a hearing today on something Democrats have pushed for months, cutting the cost of child care and preschool. The Senate Committee on Aging has a hearing tomorrow on home care services to seniors, and EPW is holding a hearing tomorrow on clean energy, combating climate change, and increasing America's energy independence in the 21st century. Americans want Congress to lower prices and speed up supply chains. They want us to compete with China. They want us to create good-paying jobs that drive our economy, our economic growth in every corner of the country. That's exactly what this bipartisan competition and job bills will do. Democrats are working to push legislation that will address the #1 pocketbook issue for Americans. Senator Brown.
Thank you, leaders. Every person in America and around the world would like to live long and happy and productive lives.
One-time stimulus checks are coming your way. President Biden is advocating for more financial assistance, whether it be for those that have college debt, or even the seniors and Social Security beneficiaries. Senate Democrats want to make some big changes to Social Security very, very soon. And here's some new information that is important for those of you that are on Social Security. If Joe Biden's new tax proposal goes through, people who earn more than $400 grand will be subject to the 3.8% Medicare tax. Biden's campaign called for applying Social Security payroll taxes to those making $400,000 and up. This year, wages of up to $142,000 are subject to that tax, which is 6.2% of wages for both workers and employers. That is a significant amount of money that would help out Social Security, because according to new estimates, the trust funds that support Social Security are running dry and may be tapped out in less than 20 years. Biden has already called for the increased levies to help pay for proposed benefits, and including raising the minimum Social Security benefit to at least 125% of the federal poverty level. Other lawmakers have expressed their support for Social Security reform, as millions of people, especially seniors, push Congress to send out $200 a month in a monthly benefit boost to Social Security benefits. Elizabeth Warren, for instance, highlighted what she said is a need for Social Security, or SSI. While SSI's original goal was to ensure that no senior person with a disability would have income below poverty level, Warren argued that outdated rules have trapped 4 out of 10 recipients in poverty. According to Senator Warren, SSI is an important lifeline for 8 million low-income seniors and people with disabilities. Its outdated rules squeeze too many struggling families out of the program and trap many recipients in poverty. The average monthly SSI benefit is actually below $600, which will keep many elders in poverty. Therefore, to make ends meet, an SSI recipient might actually have to consider working despite disability, their age, or need to care for children with disability. Now, the most a recipient can earn in income before losing benefits is $65 a month. Additionally, collecting more than $20 a month in Social Security would reduce SSI benefits. SSI beneficiaries are not allowed to have more than $2,000 in savings, including in retirement accounts. Married recipients also receive lower SSI benefits and have additional asset limits. SSI recipients can even be punished for receiving groceries from a friend or housing from family.
The Republican leader.
Moments ago, the country got yet another terrible monthly inflation report under the Biden administration. Yet again, the data confirm what working families already know painfully well. Rampant inflation and soaring prices are crushing the American people. Experts had predicted another red-hot inflation report, around 7%. Even that alone would have meant we were still trapped inside the worst inflation in 40 years. But reality turned out to be even worse than that. Turns out inflation this past year hasn't been 7%, it's been 7.5%. In other words, if you haven't personally gotten a pay raise of 8% or more in the last year, then Democrats' policies have given you a pay cut. To add insult to injury, reporters say the worst of this inflation was driven by the most painful categories for working families: food prices, energy prices, and rent. This is not about financial inconvenience for wealthy people who can afford to stomach it. This is about massive price increases for essential goods that make up a huge share of working families' budgets. Gas is up about 40% since